Hello and welcome to Trend Watch by CompTIA Research, where we give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that in today's technology data. Today's topic, vertical industries. We're going to focus today on the retail industry, which is really cool and interesting, and everybody intersects with it. We've got some new data at CompTIA that we've collected across 8 different industry sectors, retail being one of them. And today I'll talk to you specifically about that. But we did this data collection to take a look at how organizations within their individual sectors are approaching technology, specifically what some of the trends are in the tech sectors that they each inhabit. And then very specifically how that factors into their workforce decisions. So what some of the skills gaps might be, what some of their challenges may be, and how they're trying to overcome them through training or staff development. So today, let's focus a little bit on retail, which is a very interesting sector with respect to technology. Lots of change going on there, lots of adaptations that have happened. It's a $7 trillion industry in the United States, retail alone. So it's it's 6.3% of US GDP in 2023. So it's a big sector. You can think of all the big players there who happen to be some of the biggest employers, if not the biggest in the country. Walmart's, Amazon now on the virtual side, and also on the brick and mortar side. You've got your Home Depots, all of those very large companies, but then you've got thousands upon thousands of SMB level retail stores as well. And technology and skills around technology are affecting all of those companies. As I mentioned, Amazon, when you think about e-commerce, which is one of the big areas in retail that's been deeply affected by and driven by technology decisions, that right now, e-commerce sales account for about 22% of all retail right now in the United States. And so the other, 3/4 or so still remains physical transactions somewhere. But I'm going to walk you through some of the data here that's going to show you how interesting really it's becoming in retail and how much technology is a big player in all of that interest. So what are some of the top tech trends right now? AI is going to be a big deal in retail. Contactless payments. Many of you, we're all consumers. We've all gone and had to pay, and we swipe and we use our little taps and everything on our credit cards. All of that is pretty intricate technology that a lot of companies who are in the business of technology have adapted to, and it's become a lucrative opportunity for many of them. And many of us as consumers are learning to use, whether we like it or not, in some instances. And then those of us who work in retail, people who are in the industry, have had to really become in the IT departments there, in the CIO departments there. They are the front lines and kind of in implementing and distributing and integrating and deploying many of these technologies to their customers. So we took a look at some of the data, and this is where I want to talk to you a bit about staffing. What some of the big priorities are for retail industries in the coming year. Generally, they want to grow their revenue. That's their number one challenge and their number one goal for the coming year. But secondly, they said they wanted to improve staff productivity and engagement. And a lot of that are things that they are doing through the use of technology and through building skills. The third thing that they want to say is a goal for next year is introducing new technologies such as artificial intelligence, automation, which is going to be very big in retail. All of those are big priorities. And how they plan to get there is they're going to be increasing their spend. A lot of it is going to be around training and development of their employees, which is, an area that is going to be really important because this sector happens to employ so many people. It's a big challenge for a lot of retail companies as well, for them to be able to get and roll out training to all of the employees that are going to need it in the coming years on the various technologies that we're talking about. Interestingly, we asked one of the questions on the survey that we did, about level of maturity and level of tech savvy within their industry. And retail ranked lowest out of all the verticals other than government, which I found quite interesting, which means there is a gap between where people in the retail industry think they are with respect to their use of technology and how good they are at it, and where they want to be or where they should be vis-a-vis other industries out there. So that means lots of training needs to take place, lots of development needs to take place. And we will be seeing that in the coming years as more and more retail companies double down on their e-commerce installations. They double down on some of the new AI technologies, which we talked about. And they really try to bring their organizations, especially those smaller retailers, into the 21st and 22nd century eventually. So let's keep an eye on retail. We're all out there shopping. Thanks.